Yo, Haitian, go crazy with it. Go crazy with it. Woods.
Hola los peoples, my name is Rafisa, you're listening to Chou Black Cat, and I hope you're having an amazing day. If you like that beat, that's Haitian's work. You can find him on Instagram at the number one, Haitian, that will be Hayshun. Today's episode is titled The Green Privilege. Let me show you why. It's a green season. Green's one of the colors chosen by the people who started capitalizing Christmas worldwide. Everybody, especially corporations, pretend to go green these days, even though most people don't know whether they have a green thumb or not. Lately, there has been more green sections in menus for vegans. Green is everywhere, except for the fact that trees are getting chopped off at an alarming rate. But today, I choose to talk about the green privilege, not the marijuana edibles brand. Green privilege is what I say when I talk about financial privilege. You know, since the first world economic power's currency is green, I can confidently say that whoever would be listening to me right now benefits from the green privilege. The fact that you have the means to use megabytes to listen to my podcast illustrates what I'm trying to say. Some people simply do not have the money for an internet subscription. Whether you have a monthly, daily, or a 50 megabytes plan is something to be grateful for. Some people do not own a device similar to the one you are using currently because it's a privilege to own such devices. Maybe you are not using your own device. Perhaps you're listening to my voice from the computer in your family room or an internet cafe. My theory still holds. Having access to such devices is a privilege. If you need a little help understanding why, well, this is your lucky day. Whether it's a smartphone, a tablet, a PC, or a television, the demand in these different markets continuously boosts exploitation of multiple materials around the world, generating soil impoverishment and pollution, causing trauma to surrounding ecosystems, and endangering the lives of men working in these deposits and mines. Oh, did I say men? Children are involved too. But whatever their age, these workers are often exposed to inhumane conditions. Let us not forget the people who work in the factories that machine and form these materials and assembles our precious Christmas wish list. What about the fact that internet itself is not eco-friendly? I think I use internet every day at this point, especially while going through a pandemic with Canadian restrictions. And even if it wasn't the internet, every day I use things that were bought: my computer, my toothbrush, the refrigerator, soap, electricity. These are all things some people struggle to have or never had. It's important to keep that in mind. It's important to think about the people who did not eat during the last 3 days if you find yourself complaining about the food that is available to you. It's important to think about the adults who wish they could read or acquire a higher education if you find yourself complaining about the efforts you make for your studies. It's important to remember that you have green privilege, that we have green privilege. I'm not saying you should not seek to acquire more or better financial stability, but there are things that we don't actually need, that the media, amongst other things, make us feel as though we did need them. It's more evident to enjoy your current situation and make more efficient pursuit when you acknowledge your green privilege. Money already holds a certain power over us. Don't we go to school and go to work mainly to gain money? Exactly. There's no need to give money even more power by totally dismissing your everyday privileges. I often hear people talk as if rich little brats were the only people enjoying what money could get you into this world. Well, that's not true, and deep down, everybody knows that. I have heard I have heard every single person I know dismiss their green privilege, including me. The only difference was that the less fortunate immediately realized what they had just said was ungrateful. A lot of people my age even claim to only care about money, praise money even. That is next level brainwashing. Anyway, the green privilege also gives us the power to make the lives of people around us better. Before 1804, when Haiti was enslaved, subjumu was one of the dishes the slaves had to prepare for the masters but never could eat from. It is juomo soup. Juomo is basically the Caribbean pumpkin. On January 1st, 1804, the Republic of Haiti's independence was officially declared. The first black nation to win the fight against colonizers had just started to pave the way for revolutions worldwide. The Lieutenant General Jean-Jacques Dessalines was a great leader to the Haitian Revolution. His wife, Claire Heureuse, made a big pot of soujumu and served it to her fellow winners. Quite symbolic, don't you think? And there it was, the beginning of an important tradition. Every year, in the Haitian community, we eat soup, jumu, on our Independence Day, January 1st. Hence why Haitian households usually end up packed with soup jumu in the first 3 days of the year. Well, there's also the fact that it's delicious. On January 1st, 2015, after breakfast, our doorbell rang. It was a family friend who lived nearby. She wasn't as fortunate as us and simply came by to wish us happy new year and Independence Day. While conversing, I kindly offered a bowl of soup, just to be a good hostess. She replied that she would gladly take a bowl because her children and her hadn't had the chance to prepare the soup, that they had been struggling, and that it had been too long since she had eaten anything. And there I was, a 14-year-old on a full stomach who previously had been complaining about having to eat soup night and day for the next 3 days, even though there were other things such as snacks in the house. I felt ashamed of myself, and I told her that I would be right back. I fetched my parents and told them that I would fill bowls with soup jumu for her friend and her kids because they didn't have any. My mother helped me fill the bowls, and we encouraged our friend to leave at once so her children and her could enjoy the soup while it was still morning. Perhaps it didn't take much effort for me to share the soup, which I gladly did, but it meant so much to her. That was me using my green privilege to make her morning slightly better. That is something I never want to stop doing. And I think it's something we should all remember to do, especially in this time of year, especially after a year like this one. Speaking of Subjumu, have you heard of Libète 2021? Well, the literal translation would be Freedom Soup 2021. This is a third edition of an event that is making Subjumu available to people in various points of the country on Haitian Independence Day. This year, the goal is to reach all 10 departments of the country. The soup will be available in places like Esh, Canal, Kofoufeuille, some prisons, and even on Lagonav Island. For 200 goods, which is $2 and 80 cents, you can pay for a bowl of soup for someone else. For 1,000 goods, which is 13 US dollars and 98 cents, you can pay for 5 bowls. This event is an initiative of Inisyativ and the STO Foundation. You can find them on Instagram at Inisyativ _STO. That will be INISYATIV 5x4 _STO. Donations can be made through Moncash to the number 509 3904 9773. Through PayPal with the following link: https://www.stointernational.org/donate/. Donations can also be made through Western Union. You can DM them or Shublakat for more information on that. I will be putting this information in the description of this episode. For further questions, you can contact Inisyativ and the STO Foundation on their Instagram. That is all for Shublakat's first season. Thank you for listening to the season, really. I appreciate you. As you can imagine, this is the last episode of 2020. This year might have been difficult, but this podcast is one of the cool things that came out of it. You can follow Shublakat on Instagram or Twitter to know when the next season is coming out. That will be CHOUBLAK 4, the number 4. You can also subscribe to whichever platform you're listening this from. I am an artist, and you'll find my work on Instagram. My handle is at Rafisarelo. That will be RAFISARELO. Have a blessed day and Merry Christmas. Ciao, ciao, bye bye.